Hi guys, if you've watched the previous episodes you'll know that I 3D printed myself a little U-2 spy plane bomber, or whatever it is, I don't know, spy plane and that. At somebody's suggestion, just basically a two-dimensional, so plan form and whatever shape that is. First time I did it, it was a bit too tail heavy, so I had to add some weight to it. And then the second time I did it, I thickened the front up so I didn't need to add extra weight. Now the second one I've actually lost. I took them on holiday with me and it flew to a position where I couldn't retrieve it. In fact, a few days later I saw a youngster playing with it, so they obviously managed to find it, but I let them keep it anyway. Other people have suggested scaling it up, so that's what these slightly larger ones are. I can't go much bigger than that and keep it on the bed, on the 3D printer bed. I suppose I could go quite a bit bigger, but once you start getting out to the edges of the bed it starts failing on the print for various reasons, bed levelling, temperature, all that sort of thing. So it's best if you can keep it near the centre of the bed when you're printing. So yeah, that was the original, that was the original. That's a copy of the original that I put hot glue on it rather than the blue tack that I use. Haven't tried that yet to see whether it works. Print them in 3 pieces, top, bottom and the wing, and then just super glue them together. When I did the version 2, I also put a bit of a slot in there to help you line it up. And then version 3, which I haven't shown you before, is actually this one, where we've joined the top and the bottom together so they actually slide on. So that should make it easier to align it when you're gluing it. The only thing is I've made the gaps a little bit generous so it rocks around a little bit. It'll be alright when you've glued it, which I haven't done yet. So that was version 3. That one was a version 2 reprinted, but I've glued it together so I can't show you the parts. That's another version 2 glued together. No, it isn't. That's the first of the version 3s because that's a solid nose on it. Yeah, so that's the first attempt at version 3. That's the second attempt at version 3, which I haven't glued together yet. Having done that, I then thought about trying to make it bigger. So yeah, this is the first attempt, version 4. So it's just scaled bigger when on the editor, on the 3D editor. I also added my logo on it. Don't know if the camera's picking that up. So that one needs gluing together. When I was looking at that after I printed it, I've got these alignment slots on the top there to help you line it up when you glue it, and they are a little bit generous. I want to make them a bit closer together. But at the bottom I don't have an alignment slot, so you can get that wrong when you're gluing it. You could glue it offline. So I thought about it, and with this one, and this is where I wanted to show something anyway, on this one I put a little notch on the back. The idea being that we have a little dimple on there that will align with that notch, so you can keep the bottom lined up as well. But this one printed particularly badly. I mean, it's very thin print anyway, but this one's obviously come loose and warped. Now whether that's because I had it too close to the edge of the bed and there wasn't enough heat there, or whether I hadn't cleaned it properly because it was near the edge of the bed and I usually just clean in the middle, or whether it's just this particular pink filament that I've been using, because I've had other problems with it. So I think it may be just that pink filament. When I say there's something wrong with it, I've no doubt if you spent time with it and adjusted things a bit at a time on each print, you probably get it just right. But I don't change the settings between printing with one colour and the next colour. And when I've used the pink, it just seems to regularly go wrong. So I think it's the pink filament that's causing the problem. I could probably still use this, because I've still got the hook on it, but it's a little bit, well, more than thin, there's a gap in it. I could just reprint that piece and see if that goes on here nicely. Struggling. Come on, here we go. Because that little notch is supposed to go up there and hold it in alignment, and in fact that notch is too far back, so I could move it forwards anyway on the next print. You can't see that, but that little sticky up bit isn't going into the notch properly. It needs to be further forwards. So yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll reprint that piece, move that alignment notch further forward so it all lines up. But I do need to move those ridges together a bit, because when I've scaled it up, it's widened the gap, but it hasn't actually raised the height of this at the same rate. So that's now loose in there. I've no idea if this will fly anyway, the bigger version, because you're getting on to the limits of the flexibility. But the little one flies beautifully. Nice and straight. I'm not looking at a stunt plane there, although you could potentially play with twisting the ends up of the elevators or the ailerons. I'm not sure if I've got any good video of it flying, because I was using my hat camera and it was a very windy day. So if it's any good, I'll put it on the end of this video just so you can see it, I think. I'll just see if I can actually glue this one together. Probably do with a brush or something to get it into the gap, otherwise you can end up getting it all over your fingers. I usually get it all over my fingers anyway. Oh, come on, that's gluing quicker than I can slide it in there. Right, now hold it together. Got a bit of a gap at the front there now, so I think I'll squeeze some glue in there and just put a clothes peg over there to hold it shut. Right, that should do. Just Just thought I'd do a little bit more on these 3D printed planes. I've just printed another one. This one has come out absolutely perfect compared to that one where it had gone all wrinkled and horrible. The only difference I made to this one was before I printed it, I'd made sure the actual file pushed it slightly higher up on the bed. So if we assume this is the bed, that one, it was arranged something like that. And when I did it with this one, I had it so it was pushed up the bed a little bit further, so it wasn't quite so close to the bottom edge. And that is the only difference I made to it. And that one's printed much better. So that's the one that's all horrible and wrinkled, and that one's printed perfectly. And after I printed them, I also printed this battery cover, which I can't get off, for my car. And that one's all funny on the inside. It's ever so flexible. It looks like it's missed the top layer. That looks like that's the sort of infill layer. That side's fine. But it just seems to have missed that layer, which would seem to indicate it's something to do with the print. But I don't know. I really don't know what's going on there. So it looks like it's just missed the top layer, or the top layer just hasn't. I don't know. Don't know. But if I print it with different filament, it comes out okay. So it does seem to be the filament. Or, well, more honestly, the setting. I need to change at least one of the settings to get it to print properly. Strange. As I say, that one printed absolutely perfectly, no trouble at all. And this is printing it on the fastest setting. So maybe if I slowed the print down, higher quality, slower print, that might make a difference as well. But that's good enough for what I want. That would actually work for what I want it to work for, but that is annoying. Thanks for watching. You'll find more information down in the video description. You might like to watch that video up there, and you might like to subscribe over there.